Thanks for joining us here on the Bearcats Sports Network. It's time to preview the 2014 McKendree University women's volleyball program, and we're pleased to be joined by Coach Lisa Orlick. Coach, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Coach, last season the Bearcats got off to a slow start, finally got going in the middle stages of the season and really came on like a freight train at the end of the year, winning 8 of their last 11 matches, narrowly missing a GLVC playoff berth. How do you think that momentum will carry over into this season for McKendree?
Well, Scott, that was a tough night for everybody, especially our seniors. So I think that obviously the returners have made that their motivation in the off season and in the preseason as well. So we're still going to take it one day at a time, one match at a time. But yeah, that's definitely part of our motivation is to get ourselves in that tournament.
A lot of experience returning for the McKendree volleyball program this year. Just two seniors, however, on your squad. One of those seniors missing last season due to injury, Abby Hanger. You also have Kelsey Johnson as a senior, but a lot of leadership in your junior and sophomore classes. Why don't you go ahead and talk about your returnees a little bit and highlight some key players for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Abby is wonderful. She's, obviously the injury had us a little nervous and, wondering how much the sport would still be in our life. So I think she comes back that much hungrier and leading her team and making sure that everything's fun. And I think that Kelsey's time at the Division One level and also earning her spot on this court has been also one of the things that the girls have watched happen and watched grow. And they lead by example, both of them, but they also are good at making the people around them better. So it's definitely the full package and what you want in an upperclassman.
Go ahead and touch on some of the returnees. Also, a lot, like we said, coming back in that junior and sophomore class. A lot of experience gained on the court last season.
Yeah, everybody that's back got a lot of opportunities, and there was a lot of growing pains, but I think this year they've taken that into a whole nother level of learning, and they've been a great inspiration to the underclassmen. They've, in their own right, they've developed their IQs over the spring, and being thrown into that fire helped them grow up a little bit faster, but it also benefits our program as a whole.
This year, a strong recruiting class comes in for McKendree. 7 top-notch freshmen, along with a junior transfer coming from the University of Louisville. Why don't you go ahead and talk about your newcomers for 2014?
It's been great. The level of play in our gym is just, is so high right now. It's highly competitive, and there's a lot of laughter in between some of those heavy-duty long rallies. But there's also a feeling of determination, and I think that that's something that every coach aspires to have in their gym is, that competitiveness. And they're also very supportive of each other too. It's the full team package. The sport of volleyball, that's always the balance, is to keep the team camaraderie, but also to be competitive and push each other. And they've really got that down. And so it'll be interesting to see what this weekend brings us. Having done all that work in the preseason.
Looking at the roster, 19 players on your varsity roster. Obviously, that's had to create some interesting competitions, like you said. Obviously,
Yeah.
a lot of hard-nosed competition within practices, scrimmages, things like that. But how do you manage to keep balance with those 19 players?
Well, we do a lot about earning your opportunities and being available for your team and being of service. So both sides of the net, whether they're the starting side or the other side, they're making sure that their role matters, and that their impact is something that brings us to another level. And for that, I'm very proud. You get a group of women in a gym that way that love the sport and respect competition the way these ladies do. There's not a time that ball's in the air that somebody's not getting better or getting pushed or being challenged. And that just makes for a wonderful team.
And that depth is going to be a nice problem to have, especially when you roll into Great Lakes Valley Conference competition.
Yeah.
Like we said, McKendree just missing a playoff berth last year. I'm sure that extra body or two is going to help maybe push you over the edge in 2014.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes our job easier as coaches. It's a long season, it's a tough season, and it can wear a player down. It's nice to have that depth, to have the other opportunities to get a player in, maybe rest somebody, but also those kids want their chance and they want to do it for their teammates. And so I think that sort of we haven't had that much depth. We've had the numbers sometimes, but not to this level where everybody's able to take advantage of being on the floor.
What will be the keys to success for this year's McKendree University women's volleyball team?
I think focusing on the now. We're definitely trying to stay in the moment and be competitive. Be who you are now. We have a saying that who you were a minute ago doesn't matter. Who you are now is what makes you the athlete you are, and to always remember that. And so they're letting their mistakes go. That's another sign of our maturity, and they're also if it's a great big play, they're getting refocused and worried about what they have to do with that very next ball. So it'll be interesting. If we can stay in that, I think we'll be a tough team to beat.
And it all starts Friday and Saturday, September 5th and 6th at the Dunn Hospitality Classic hosted by the University of Southern Indiana. First home match on Friday, September 19th, when Quincy comes to town, a key GLVC battle for the Bearcats.
Absolutely.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us today, taking time out of your busy schedule. Good luck this season. We hope to catch up with you periodically throughout the year.
Thanks, Scott.
Don't forget to catch up with all McKendree athletic happenings. Follow all 26 teams, including women's volleyball, on our athletics website at www.mckbearcats.com, and also follow us on Facebook and Twitter.